regarding Mark Faber's gigantic asset bubble interview. I had read originally on that on Business Insider. Business Insider had discussed the interview. And my first impression of the interview was that Dr. Faber was predicting a crash of the 1987 proportions within the next few days. Is the way it was written. And then I watched the interview and I looked at it a couple of times more. And I don't think that's what he was projecting. I don't think that's what he was saying. I think he's saying that the Federal Reserve and the central banks are printing money and printing money. And this money is going out where it's going out. It had been going to the developing world. They had been growing, and he said they're no longer growing anymore. And he's saying this engine keeps pumping out. This credit engine keeps pumping out, and now where it was going and real growth was going on is slowing down. And he sees at some point that's going to crash, and it's going to be huge. He made the point in regards to what Mr. Krugman had said, that nobody had said about massive credit bubbles or anything about all this credit issue, that nobody had really explained that out in the financial press of that was what had occurred in 2008 and had caused that crash. So that's what he's saying. And I would say that if you're 100% invested in the stock market, I would start taking money off the table. That's what I would say. Where to put it? I would put it in cash. I would be holding cash. I would taper off. I would take some off the table a little at the time, and I would be holding cash. I think cash right now is your best investment. I don't believe cash is trash. At some point, it'll be clear. At some point, you're going to be able to buy these markets cheaper. There might be other markets to be cheaper in. You certainly can't put your money in treasuries. I don't know. I'm not that sophisticated. He said to buy. He went back to buying gold, palladium, silver. I've spoke about that in other places. I'm not speaking to that. The other thing that I want to say about Mr. Faber, or Dr. Faber, that I really like about him, even though he's a libertarian, and he's one of the best spokesmen for libertarianism in the world, I'd say he's a better spokesman than Jim Rogers. He's a better spokesman than Mr. Taleb and a lot of other people that I consider libertarians, or the people over at Reason, because he actually speaks to the issues that poor people and middle-class people aren't doing well in the world today. He actually has compassion for them. He actually speaks to the issues of what the big money printers and what the big banks are doing, what big government is doing to people. He's actually concerned about it. He actually speaks to it. And he explains it. And I thought that was very interesting that about 4.5 minutes into the interview, he was speaking about this gigantic, I won't say conspiracy, but this gigantic mechanism of the U.S. government and the U.S. military and the Federal Reserve, all them ganging up to accomplish what they wanted by creating a military to get what they want done, and then buying the votes with transfer payments. And they changed the subject immediately and they went to break. I think that's very interesting, because Mr. Faber, he has compassion for people. He has a powerful worldview, and he's someone to consider. No matter what your opinion is like his or not, if you disagree with him, you better do your homework. You better look it up. You better think long and hard about your position, because he's a very sharp guy. Okay, well, if you looked at the original video that this is based on, thanks. I just stole that directly off Bloomberg's website. I like Dr. Faber. He's got me lots of eyeballs. Thank you.